band, I mean, I was like everybody was. I mean, of a certain age, if you were a Gen Xer and you heard Green Day, you're like, who are these posers? I don't think anybody thought they'd be around 30 years later, but they earned their spot. Dookie was their major label debut. They were a couple albums in by then, but Longview came off it. This one came off it. Basket Case. Welcome to Paradise had been on Kerplunk, but they re-recorded it for Dookie. When I Come Around, I mean, all the stars aligned. The record label was really smart about it because they just flooded radio with singles off of this record.
And they're all like 2 minutes long, so radio loved that. They're like, yeah, crank them out.
Right. And so after that, it was Blink 182 and Fall Out Boy and Sum 41, and so anyway, the 30th anniversary super deluxe edition is going to be out. You won't even have to wait till the actual 30th anniversary. It's going to be out on September the 29th. It's going to have outtakes and it's going to have demos. It's going to have 2 full live concerts.
Nice.
Wow. They were, of course, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015.
As far as being like a popular, like a punk band that was having commercial success, they were on an island for a little while before. I mean, it was a few years.
You mean before they signed to a label?
Well, no. Like being like a major label punk band is what I'm saying. So like they got there, and then it was kind of like just them and maybe Offspring before. I mean, Blink-182 wasn't really popular until like 4 or 5 years later.
Like 99 or so is when. Yeah. Well, no, you're right, because, I mean, in the early 90s, record labels were still looking for the next Soundgarden, the next Nirvana.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. Like, the timing was just really right for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But Green Day, like, there were a lot of labels that liked what these dudes were doing and wanted to sign them. And they met with a lot of them, and they just picked right.
Mm-hmm.
They picked Reprise, and they were like, yeah, these guys are going to give us what we want and let us do our thing.
And then Dookie was so huge that when they released Insomniac, it was harder, but it didn't do nearly as well. And everybody thought they were done. Then they came out with Nimrod, and they were right back to the top.
Yep.
See, I didn't start listening to Green Day until the America one. Wasn't even that one.
American Idiot.
American Idiot. I listened to that. I listened to that album front to back for an entire summer. I would just put it on repeat, and it was like all I listened to.
Yeah, I mean, the Dookie and what else? Dookie and like Smash from the Offspring. Those were really the two in the early 90s that brought punk rock back into mainstream.
Yeah.
Smash had come out like around the same time, and Offspring and Green Day had both kind of been around for a minute, not really getting a lot of attention. And frankly, Dookie wasn't a pure punk record. So it appealed to people that were like, well, I'm not really into punk.
Well, it was poppy enough.
It was poppy enough
it
where
was
people
that
dug
pop
it.
punk stuff where it was catchy, and they didn't take themselves too seriously until American Idiot. And
I liked it.
Listen, it's a great album, but I just remember him doing an interview where he was making fun of like the Blink-182 type way those guys were dressing, where they're all wearing like the baggy shorts and the backwards hat, and he's like, dress like a man. I'm like, did you have eyeliner on?
Right. It's hot though.
Yeah, but also,
but he thought because he wore that red tie that he's like, I'm so manly now.
I mean, American Idiot really brought them back from the dead, because they broke up after Warning. They were like, we're done. We hate each other's guts. We have nothing else to say. And so it was they needed to do that operatic kind of whatever. And they lost some fans, but that's the way it's supposed to be. You're going to shed some skin, and you're going to get some new people who dig you. But Dookie ended up selling 25 million copies, maybe.
Insane.
It's a double diamond release. So anyway, if you're way into Green Day, then that 30th anniversary Big Dookie box set. I don't know if it's called the Big Dookie box set.
What did they put out after American Idiot? Because I know they have a few. I know they did that one album that they went a little off the map that came out probably 5 years ago.
Well, they did 21st Century Breakdown after American. They did a live album, and then the one that had 21 Guns and
I thought 21 Guns was an older song.
09.
But then was the one that was like 2015 or 2016, maybe in 2018.
Well, because they each did one, right? They did Uno Dos Tres.
Okay.
Or Trey or whatever.
Because that's his name.
Revolution Radio is the one you're thinking
That's
of.
the one I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where they kind of sound more like Fall Out Boy on that one.
Yes. Anyway, 30th anniversary of Dookie, but I mean, Green Day's been around almost 40 years.
So crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild. And his kids got a band. I mean, the whole bit.
They did during quarantine. They played a bunch of covers and stuff on YouTube, and that was fun.
Yeah. F Green Day, Billy trashed the USA. I don't know what that means.
That's on American Idiot. He was talking about this was during the George Bush presidency, and
Well, you need to grow up, sir or madam. There's a lot to trash in this country.
And
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that.
That's a very American thing to do, is to have the freedom of speech to trash the USA.
Imagine a punk rock band.
Yeah.
Although they did use the F word in that,
Yeah.
yeah.
the Poundcake F word, and that gets bleeped when you hear American Idiot now. And he did mean it tongue in cheek. Alan, my favorite disease is dropsy.
What?
Well, all those are really old timey. I mean, if you're going to pick whatever your favorite damn disease is, you can go with dropsy. Before they really knew what things were. Yeah. So anywho, there's the whole Dookie thing, and congratulations. We were talking a midweek about the giant groups that will go now into like Nordstrom's and rip everything off.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them now. They're referred to as flash robs.
Oh God.
And
there's a DJ that's so mad right now. 'Cause
Yes.
he's like, man, I just got
DJ Flash Rob.
DJ Flash Rob. I just got all these business cards printed.
I just trademarked the whole thing. And I don't know who to
got
sue.
At, Flash Rob on Threads.
Yeah, is anybody on Threads anymore?
I go on
Somebody
there.
was asking me about Threads, and I was like, I was in Vegas when that dropped, and I got on it, and I don't think I've been. I mean, Twitter is. It's time to get off Twitter because I think Elon Musk disabled the blocking thing. He's like, blocking doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to block people? Because he's a dope. He's just making it so people can do less and less on Twitter. He's taking something that already sucks
Isn't it supposed to
and making it worse.
Wasn't this whole thing that he's making it more and more like it's gonna be like one stop for everything?
Well, that's what he says, but they can't. Who knows? Whatever. But I'm on Twitter now maybe once a week, and I'm not on Threads at all. I don't even have it on my phone anymore. So, which is what everybody predicted. They were like, everybody's going to be on Threads for 2 weeks.
That's what I said.
And you did. You were right.
And you guys were like, there's no harm in it.
Well, there
Just sign
isn't.
up."
I'm
listen,
still using it.
anytime there's a new social media, there's no downside to checking it out
Yeah.
and seeing if you like it. But you were right. You told us so.
I told you so.
Mary loves, I told you so.
I didn't
Told
do
you.
But again, like I said, I'm still using it. There's people that are active on there.
No one's active.
I got into a nice little discussion
No, you
with
didn't.
James Gunn,
Never happened.
director.
What were you
Big-
guys talking about?
He was talking about writing movies and TV. Someone asked him, "What's easier to write, movies or TVs, or TV shows?" And I go, "I've never written either, but I'm sure they're both super easy to do." And he goes, "Why don't you try it?" And I go, "I tried it. It's really hard. I'm sorry." He's like, "That was fast." I'm like, "Yeah."
I tried. It's hard. I'm sorry.
Did he know you were goofing around?
Yeah, I think he at first he kind of wasn't sure of the tone, but then I think he figured it out, and we had some fun with it. And
Okay.
some fun interactions with the other James Gunn fans.
Supposedly, by the way, Blue Beetle is good.
What is
I
Blue
heard it's good.
Beetle?
It's a
This
new
DC movie that's coming out that I
Oh.
don't think anybody cares about because it's such a tertiary character. And George Lopez is in it, and it's a Latino superhero. But
Oh,
Blue
I've seen commercials.
yeah,
for
the
this,
trailers, and
Yeah,
people are
George
like,
Lopez.
"Oh my god!" But the early word on it is they're like, "It's actually pretty
Pretty fun,
good."
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I still haven't seen Eternals. I need to dig into that.
I don't know if you need to see Eternals.
Oh, come on. Kumail did so much work getting shredded for it. Why not? And I like Salma
and then he
Hayek.
just does finger guns. That's his whole character.
Is it?
Yeah, kind of like he does like these finger guns in it.
That's his power, his finger guns?
Yeah.
Oh.
Finger guns is his power. I mean,
why did he get ripped for that?
Because he wanted to.
Yeah,
Because he's like, I'm getting paid. Yeah.
You wanted to? Okay.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Because in a Marvel movie, you get ripped.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it wasn't the worst movie.
My vagina said what?
I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
All right. Hey, you want to start the weekend a little early?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Really early.
Oh, wow. I mean, I'm done.
Let's
I
go.
want to get out of here.
I got to go to the funny stop in Cuyahoga
Yes,
Falls.
I know. Oh, you do? I didn't know you were doing shows
Two
there.
shows tonight, 7:30 and 9:30.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
Why didn't you mention that before? Why didn't you mention it before?
I have been mentioning it all day.
Say I told you so.
Told you so.
Eat that, you piece of crap.
Piece of crap.
Oh, sweetie.
Turn that off, dude. I hate that so much. Oh my god.
Oh, sweetie.
Yeah, that's right. I called an audible. The Bill Squire Friday Get Down is how we begin the weekend around these parts, and hopefully right around your parts too, because they'll be tingling here. Take it away, William.
It's Friday! And you gotta get down on Friday. Go see Mary at the funny stuff. Oh, sweetie, oh, sweetie, oh, sweetie. It's Friday! Because you hate it.
I did.
It's like double hate.
There's a lot of hate, but also in my benefit.
It's my favorite way to help you.
Sweetie.
Ugh.
Oh, sweetie! Oh, sweetie! Oh, sweetie! You want to clean one of that, Alan? Because you're
What?
probably like a clean
Oh,
sweetie.
sweetie. No.
Of me yelling it that you can play for Mary.
Stop. You don't have to
It's
do
okay.
anything.
I mean,
Thank you, Alan. I
Owens, and I'm good.
All right.
The Bill Squire Friday Get Down in honor of the late, great Murray Saul here at WMMS. It's how we get the weekend going. So go and do likewise. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll return, wrap everything up,
Oh, sweetie.
get Mary on her way, get Bill in front of his video games, and if you want to get the last word in, shoot a text. 35192, and we'll be back.
Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show.
On iHeartRadio.